Hello book besties! I feel like I need to take a really big deep breath and just be here in the moment with you guys. Life's been insane. I planned to be sitting here right now filming my September wrap-up video, and I apologize, not that I think anyone actually cares, but I apologize, that is not what I have the mental capacity to record today. I'll probably at this point end up combining September wrap-up with the October wrap-up next month. I don't have brainwaves even going anymore. The southeast is just getting hit by so many storms. I just feel so burdened for what people are going through. So life just feels like I haven't had a moment to think or breathe or focus. It's been a lot of good things, a lot of difficult things, and I literally cannot sit here right now and compute my thoughts on the books that I read in September, because I do try to put thought into that, and I don't have thoughts right now. Okay, so just being completely real, there's no thoughts going through my head. So this video is a fall book haul that I anticipated putting out in November maybe, but you know what? It's what I'm in the mood to do. It's what I feel like I can do, is just be excited over some new books, talk about them. Do I feel like it's stupid to even sit here and talk about new books that I have received or bought when there's so much suffering going on? Yes, there's a big part of me that is like, how do I sit here and do this? However, I know life obviously goes on, and I have a commitment to continue to make content for you guys, and I enjoy doing this, so this is a good thing. Also, I did just post last week my fall book shopping, and I did a very small haul there. These are books that I did not get that day that I have been accumulating over the last couple of months, whether they were gifts or other fall books that I pre-ordered or ordered because y'all just keep recommending me books. Please stop recommending me books, because when you say it's so good and when you say, Jordan, you will love it, I don't know how to say no, and I need to say no. So my fall TBR will last me 3 falls worth at this point. I will never get through all of these books. It's just not gonna happen. But I'm excited about these books, and I wish fall was longer so that I could actually get to all of them. Beyond that, I hope you all are safe and healthy and doing well and enjoying your fall season, and now let's just talk about these books. Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. The amount of you who have been telling me you love this book, read this book, I got it, okay? I finally got the book, and I was really hoping that it would be opened on my blind October TBR, and it sadly wasn't, so it will 100% be on my November TBR. Whether it gets opened or not, I will open this and I will read this in November. I am thinking I perhaps saw this movie on Netflix. I'm not sure. I kind of maybe should see if I saw that or not. It is about this girl who thinks she just got really lucky in this proposal and this marriage, but then she moves to his estate with him, and I don't know if his wife's a ghost or what is going on there, but it just kind of sounds like his wife is ever present and kind of gonna be a lingering evil that threatens to destroy their love from beyond the grave. One person blurbed and said, Rebecca inspired my most exciting nightmares. So I don't know if this is a horror or just more of a psychological thriller or a ghost story. I really don't know. I am just gonna read this because so many of you have been saying it's so good and that I should read it. And then one of my very sweet friends, Keisha, got me Apprentice to the Villain because I just read Assistant to the Villain with my Patreon, and I loved that book. I gave it nearly 5 stars. I smiled the whole way through. I just am so surprised how much I loved it. And so I was talking about how much I want to get and read this second book, and so she so sweetly sent me this one. I'm not gonna get into the synopsis on this one, but the first one, this girl gets hired to be the assistant to a villain, and of course they're kind of falling for each other, and it was just such a cozy fantasy, but it made me laugh the whole way through it, and I'm here for that. I want more of them, and so I cannot wait to read this book. I don't know if I'm gonna prioritize it this fall. I'm eager to get into it, but at the same time, this is one that I would read any time of year, and so I might not like make sure I read it this fall, you know? But I'm so happy to have it. It's got the purple edges, and I know that I'm going to love this book. I've talked a few times now on my channel about the Sweater Weather series. You can see 2 of them behind me on the shelf, but I've actually like purchased and received the 4th book in the series, Faking the Fall. I loved the first 3. I cannot wait to read this 4th one. I do think that they are fall reads. Like, I would not read this any other time of year. They're just set in like those fall towns, plus the cover is very fall vibes, and each of them is written by a different author. They collabed. I feel like I've said this so many times, so I don't want to be repetitive if you've seen all the other videos I've talked about this series, but I actually like feel like I can't talk about this series enough because they're all so cute. They're clean rom-com, each of them like with a different type of plot. This one is like a famous person trope, and I've just enjoyed these books so much and cannot wait to read this one. A book that I am reading right now actually is The 13th Child. I'm not even halfway through this, but it is one that I grabbed as soon as it came out and started almost immediately, and that's saying a lot because I tend to buy books and then they go on my shelf and I hope to read them soon. It really is telling of a book and like how drawn I am to it that I would start it as soon as I get it. The reason why I was so eager to read this is because I read Small Favors by this author and really liked that book. I actually found that I liked it even more the more I sat on it. Like, it's one that has stuck with me, and so I really wanted to try another one by this author. And this one, this girl is the 13th child, and that's kind of not a good thing in the eyes of her parents, and she's really neglected and just not treated very well. It's actually a very sad beginning, and they've, from the moment she was born, sold her off to a god, like a godfather who's supposed to be coming to lay claim to her and provide for her, and then he's not showing up, but he finally does on her 13th birthday, and I'm at the point that he's kind of training her to be a healer, but he seems to be like the god of death. It's giving me actually some Belladonna vibes because of his character. Not that there's a romance between her and this godfather, but just the characters they portray, that she's a healer, he's a god of death. It's very grim type of settings, and I'm really enjoying the world already and eager to continue. And if you're a fan of like that gothic, sort of darker fairy tale type of fantasy, then this is probably a perfect book for you. And then I got Starling House. Look at this book. Oh my gosh, it is so stunning. I don't even know for sure much about this book, but when I saw this cover and I saw one person say it's very, very good, as you've learned if you've been here long enough, I have a toxic trait of just being like, okay, I'm gonna read it. That's all I need to know. So I bought the book and it's actually quite small. I will definitely be reading this fall. From what I understand, to me, it sounds like it's gonna be like almost a haunted house type of a setting. This girl is, I assume, in charge of her brother, or like her brother's under her care, and she wants a better life for them. She wants to get them out of their hometown. And she's like obsessed with this author, and she gets the opportunity for some reason to go to this author's home. The author's dead and gone, but left this home. And she goes, and I'm assuming it's probably pretty creepy. I don't know. It says, "Welcome to Starling House. Enter if you dare." I'm just kind of expecting like a very atmospheric, maybe haunted house type of a feel. I don't think that this is going to be too dark for me based on the person who recommended it. And I mean, it's a beautiful cover, so hopefully doesn't mean it contains just really dark, creepy things, but I'm really, really excited about this one. One of my most anticipated books of this whole fall haul is The Last One at the Wedding. I loved Hidden Pictures by this author. It is such a cool book. Sadly, this one does not have cool drawings inside of it like that one did, But I'm just so excited to read something else from Jason Rekulak. This guy Frank hasn't heard from his daughter in 3 years, but then he gets a phone call inviting him to her wedding. He thinks that it's their last chance for reconciliation. He's so excited, like a perfect opportunity to repair their fractured relationship. But then there's a disturbing discovery about his future son-in-law. He arrives at the wedding, which is supposed to be an extravagant 3-day affair. The warning signs keep piling up. Can Frank unravel the truth about Maggie's fiance before it's too late? So it sounds to me like it's going to be more of a thriller. I would say Hidden Pictures was more of a thriller as well, but it definitely had like the ghost story spooky vibes to it. But nothing I felt like was too dark, and I'm a wimp, so that's saying a lot. This is just so anticipated for me, like so highly anticipated. And then there's The Wedding Witch, which I'm kind of laughing at myself about, because if you watched my October TBR, I was so excited about this book. I had it on pre-order. I was going to read it in October, and I don't know, like I told you guys at the beginning of this video, my brain is not computing on all cylinders. It is very obvious by this cover that this is a Christmas book. Your girl totally missed that. I had no clue this is a Christmas book. And then I'm trying to figure out what book I want to read next, and I'm reading this synopsis and I'm like, this is a dang Christmas book. So I will not be reading it in October, spoiler, but I will be reading it in December, and I'm very excited about this one. It just is so confusing because the first 2 books, The X-Hex and The Kiss Curse, are clearly fall books. I'm very excited about this book, but it is not a fall book. This is a Christmas book. And then I got Book of the Month. I do not typically get Book of the Month, but I do get them when they offer me a $5 coupon. So I grabbed this book because I really wanted to read this book. So let's open this up. I'll show you which one I got. Ooh, it's so pretty. I got The Wild Huntress. It says, "Within these woods, trust no one." I don't know if this is like Hunger Games vibes. Hundreds gamble their lives to participate, all vying for the hunt's life-changing prize, a magical wish granted by the other king. It's got several different characters. It's a trickster, a prince, and a wild huntress. If they band together against the monstrous creature within the woods, they have a chance to win. But nothing is guaranteed, for all are fair game in the love and the hunt. I don't know. I could be way wrong, but to me it sounds like it could have some dystopian vibes to it. Obviously it's a fantasy. Most of those include some romance, so maybe we'll get some romantasy vibes. I just, for whatever reason, was really drawn in by the cover and the synopsis on this one, and that is why I'm gonna try it. I haven't seen anyone else talking about it, so hopefully I can get to it soon, because I love reading books that I don't hear other people already giving opinions on, and so I do plan to read this one as well this fall. The next book is 100% inspired by FOMO. Zodiac Academy. Am I very nervous about how I'm going to feel about these books? Absolutely. But I don't know if you follow on booktube, bookstagram, book talk, Larry Reads. She is hilarious. We do not read a lot of the same books, but the books that I do read that are the same as books she reads, I agree with her on completely. There's some books, what I mean to say is that they're her all-time favorites and they're my all-time favorites. And so there are certain times that I just kind of trust what she's saying if it sounds like a book I might enjoy. I know this series has some serious triggers in it. I'm hoping that that doesn't deter me and that it ends up going well for me. There's a lot of books in this series, which is another reason I have not started it yet. But there's one thing she said that finally made me go, I have to read these books. She compared the feeling to how she felt when she read Binding and Keeping 13. Those books, if you haven't read them yet, they will utterly destroy your heart. They will wreck you. They will leave you feeling like you are in a pit of emotions, but you're not mad about it. And she compared this series to that. She was like, nothing else has ever given her those feelings, and she's just been sobbing for days over this book. And I know that sounds so dumb for any of us to say, yes, please sign me up for sobbing for days, but that's me. Always sign me up, make me sob, and you will probably be a 5-star book. So Although I've seen this around for years and I've seen so many people recommend it, it was that statement alone that literally the next day I went and got this book. And another book that I'm reading right now, I'm actually almost done with this book, is Academy for Liars. I will hold my thoughts for when I do eventually have a wrap-up video and like share that with you. But for now, the synopsis on this one is perfect for fall. But don't go run just because you're hearing that. We're talking dark academia, a touch of monsters, at least as far as I've gotten, it's just a touch. I do have a friend who is like, are you scared yet? And I'm like, I'm almost done with the book. Am I supposed to be scared? Because I'm not. So I don't know if maybe I haven't reached that point. This girl's life isn't going very well. Let's just put it like that. She gets this call from like a random payphone in a parking lot that she's been accepted into this college. So she like goes, it's a very like this like psychological, they can influence things with their mind. It's just a wild ride. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. If you like dark academia, if you like a lot of mystery and a touch of darkness, this might be perfect for you this fall, but be warned, there are triggers. Obviously look it up before you jump right into it. Another book that I finally have in my hands, I did also talk about on my October TBR, but I didn't have it in my possession, and I finally do. That is Promise Me Not by Megan Brandy. This is the second book to Say You Swear, which I loved so much. They're like a college sports romance. This one is about her brother, and it actually has like a single mom trope, this friend of theirs that it says it on the back, so this isn't spoilery, but the love of her life was killed in a car accident and now she's a very young single mother, but along comes the brother from the other story, and I just know this one is going to give me all of the feels. If you like a very deep, dramatic college romance type of story, these books, Say You Swear and then probably this one, are perfect for you. A very random purchase for me. I saw this one on Kindle Unlimited and yeah, I could have just read it there, but I also really loved these covers and I just, for whatever reason, am highly anticipating these and like kind of feeling like it has the potential to be a favorite book, but that is Magnolia Falls, book 1, called Loving Romeo. The reason that I'm so intrigued by this is not only because it's so stunning, it's pretty small, so I should be able to fly right through it, but the synopsis is like very Friends Group, Magnolia Parks vibes, and I mean it even is called Magnolia Falls. I have a mission in life just trying to find books that give me the same feeling and vibes as Magnolia Parks and Daisy Hades. So that is my hope for this one and for this series, is that it gives me that just best friend drama, found family, love, all of those vibes. She is like Magnolia Falls royalty. He's a boxer from the wrong side of the tracks. We couldn't be more different. They say there's a fine line between love and hate, and I don't know when I crossed over. I was so wrapped up in this girl, I couldn't see straight. She was the right hook I never saw coming. Come on, that's the synopsis. I'm reading this book. Like, you have me hooked on words like that. Swooning, 100% going to buy and read this book. One more thing. But the secrets that lived between us threatened to tear us apart. Lucky for her, I was born a fighter, and she was definitely worth the fight. I hope I love this. These last 2 books are not fall at all, and I bought them over the summer. They just haven't been included in a haul, so I figured I would show them to you guys. But I got Love Redesigned. This is just one of those big chunky romance stories that I have FOMO over because everyone is reading them, everyone is loving this and the second one, and I love love stories, so I really wanted to see like what the hype is about this one. I think this is like an enemies to lovers, but they've known each other since childhood. She says they're family frenemies. They're both kind of like, I'm gonna just do what I gotta do, steer clear of each other, but we all know that's not what's gonna happen. And I, again, am just reading this because of all the hype surrounding this series. And the last book that I have hauled somewhat recently is No More Secrets by Lucy Score. This is a Blue Moon romantic comedy. This cover also is so cute. and it's a really small book as well. The reason I got this one is because I knew I wanted to read is it Falling in Love? I'll put it here. I wanted to read this in the fall. And so I got this one thinking I'll read this first because it technically comes first, and then I never got around to this. So I'm not going to be reading that one this fall either. We'll just kind of save both of these for next year, but I really enjoy Lucy Score's writing and I'm excited to read this one. The blurb at the top alone would make me read this book. It says, "Are you calling dibs?" Yes, I'm calling dibs if it keeps your hands off her. Come on. I literally don't even need to read anything else. I would pick that book up without knowing anything else, just reading that alone. Protect her with my life is kind of the vibe I get from that. Adorable. This guy is, I'm assuming, just getting off of a tour in the military. He's looking to just come home, chill out, settle down in his hometown, but their town are the most aggressive group of matchmaking busybodies ever to grace a small town. They do not know how to mind their own business, and as it turns out, neither does this big city journalist who arrives to interview him for her magazine. She's out of place with her designer wardrobe and workaholic schedule. She asks too many questions and gets under his skin. His only chance for peace is to scare her away from his farm so he can go back to his comfortable, solitary existence. But Summer has a stubborn streak and secrets of her own, and when Carter starts pulling at those threads, he's not so eager to send her packing. I really don't want to wait until next spring to read this, but it just screams spring, so I probably will wait, but I'm really excited about this one. That is a wrap on this haul. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't say it enough that if you are someone who's going through a lot with like these storms hitting, or you're just like suffering in your own life because it's a really busy, crazy time of year, just know that you're not alone, and I am thinking of you, and I know we're all primarily here just talking about books, and it is such a great escape from the craziness of life, but know that my heart is so heavy for everyone who's suffering. I do hope that your books are amazing though and can just be the perfect fall reads. If you liked this video and you have not hit subscribe, please consider hitting that subscribe button and sticking around. It means so much to me that each of you are here, and I will see you guys in the next video.